You know, I often rant about safety technologies such as lane keep assist, but when I watch people drive, I realize, like, look at this guy in front of me, and I wish I turned the camera on a moment before so you could have seen some of the things I just saw. Watch him miss the curve apex and wander, look, both tires into the opposite lane of traffic. He'll undercut the shoulder, he'll veer far over to the right on the shoulder, and look, and then he'll go right over the center line into the other lane of traffic. And this sort of thing is absolutely typical and common. I see this literally every single day. I drive this particular road, locally we call it the mountain, go up and down the mountain, and people, I'd say 9 out of 10 of them, are not able to keep their vehicle in its travel lane. They veer off to the shoulder, they wander off to the left. I'm stultified by it. You can hear me actually stuttering. I don't get it. I mean, I'm driving a vehicle right now that is easily twice the size of the ones in front of me, this F-250 Super Duty truck. And somehow I can manage with one hand on the wheel to keep from going across the opposite double yellow line and into the path of an oncoming car without lane keep assist. But these people in front of me, for them, apparently it's a tremendous chore to do that. Look, it's just incredibly taxing of their abilities. And as I say, we're not talking about, oh, the tire touched the double yellow. I'm talking about a third of the car into the opposite lane of traffic in a blind curve. And that is dangerous. And instead of expecting people to actually maintain control of their car and demonstrate a minimum level of competence before they venture out onto the roads, we rely, or I shouldn't say we, I always check myself, the system just band-aids over the suppurating sore of cultivated idiocy that has been generated by this culture and this society. Anybody who is more than 40 years old today, and I include myself unfortunately in this number, will remember that it was expected that you be competent behind the wheel. It was actually a kind of a badge of honor to be able to parallel park in just a couple of moves instead of having to back up, back forward, back and forth, and all of that. And if you couldn't keep your car in your travel lane, it was a problem. And now it's a common thing. And so the solution isn't to expect more of drivers. We expect less of them and fit cars with more band-aids like lane keep assist. And I really wouldn't have a problem with that. In the same way that I don't really have a problem with people who can't control their bladder for one reason or another wearing Depends. I understand that sometimes people lose control of their bladder and maybe they don't have any control over that, and in that case they should wear adult garments. But with regard to vehicles, not all of us are complete and competent fools. Not all of us need safety assistance. And it's ruining the driving experience for the rest of us, not to mention it's increasing the cost of the vehicle. You pay more up front. Don't think the safety stuff is free. Nothing is free. They add these things to your vehicle. It increases the complexity of the vehicle. You've got more systems in the vehicle. You've got sensors, wires, cameras, yada, 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 yada. So you're paying for that when you buy the car. And you're also paying for it when it goes on the fritz, which it will. You keep a vehicle long enough, and pretty much at some point down the road, something is going to break. Probably everything at some point is going to break and require service or maintenance. Now you're having to pay for something that you didn't want, that you don't use, and that serves no purpose for you because of the boobs out there who can't be bothered to drive competently. So I'll conclude by repeating the phrase often uttered by one of my childhood influences, the Grease Man. And here it is. And they ask me why I drink. More up at epautos.com, the web's best libertarian gearhead site. Thanks as always for listening. Thanks for reading the articles and supporting the site. And we'll have more for you soon.